Welcome. My name is Dr. George Mochocki, and this is Introduction to Business, a series we're completing. We'll be covering this week, we'll be covering Chapter 13, which is marketing. If you make sure you go in, open up the concept maps, you'll have the first or second tier, and I'll have additional tiers in here. I'm going to try to keep this under 20 minutes. So you've read the book, you read the chapter, you looked at the PowerPoints, you utilize the concept maps, mind maps while you're reading, adding on your information. So this week, chapter 13, 13 is the marketing. Marketing, when we look at marketing, marketing is the heart of all of advertising, promotions, and everything else that we've been looking at. So when I'm looking at an integrated marketing plan, it's what is my campaign? What is my main mission or the main focus of this campaign? You're going to have various campaigns within the business. Sometimes I'll be open up and launching a new product. That's a whole new marketing campaign. I'm open up another store. That's a whole new marketing campaign. I reinvented my service or product. That's a whole new marketing campaign. So let's talk about marketing in general. First of all, what is marketing? Marketing is from a business perspective, I know there's a need. I want to make a profitability. I have a service that will basically take care and find a need and fill it. Or sometimes I have a service, but the consumer doesn't realize that he or she has a need. So I have to build up to my marketing information campaign to tell individuals, here's a service we're offering. You may not realize this is a need you have, but we're going to fill this need for you. Usually it's the other way around. Consumer says, I have a need and I'm trying to fill that need, something that could satisfy the need from what we learned from our utilities chapters, but also where I can make a profitability and sustainability of my business and operation going forward. So, so I'm looking at needs of the different things, changing, clients, partners, and everything else. Okay. So now 4 areas of marketing. When we look at the 4 areas of marketing, I'm going to be looking at, let me see if I can close this thing here up. Okay, so if I'm looking at the 4 areas of marketing, we looked at production before. It was only whatever we produced, people would buy because there's a limited amount of goods. We're out of that phase. Now we're in the selling phase. Hey, you want it or not, so there's pressure. We're out of that stage. We're now in the marketing concept. The marketing concept, because our clientele, our customers with technology, they have a lot of information out there, so they could select and be more of an informed customer. And so marketing, I understand that, so I put that information in. So when a customer is looking at my product or my competitor's product, he or she could be informed to select my product. I'm just leaning that way. Now, customer relationship. When I look at customer relationship in business-to-business marketing, it was always a customer relationship. How do I build a relationship with a customer? When I look at the selling and everything else, marketing is buy my product, get out. My customer relation was very little from the selling, for the people on the floor, but mostly in the packaging and information. That was how I marketed. But now with a customer relations, since there are more competitors and people want more for the money, they want that face-to-face contact. So you're seeing more of the selling coming into the consumer market. My background is basically from business to business, but you see the same, and that's strictly all customer relationship. Now it's coming into the regular consumer. You go into Dominick's, you come to Jewel, or you go to Walmart. Hello, Mr. Mochocki. Once I sign something and they use my credit card and it identifies who I am, they try to utilize my first name. Because the advantages a small business have over larger ones, that I go to a small business because they know me, they personalize it, they know me, they welcome me, they know everything about me. At least in my mind, I think they know everything about me. Okay, so that's the 4 areas of marketing. We're mostly into this area, customer relationship building going forward. Nonprofit marketing. When I look at a nonprofit business, they still have to market just like I do a profit business. But so they do it for fundraising, they have public relations, they have special campaigns, they trying to change public opinions or attitude. And if I look at nonprofit, one that's very is environmental control, global warming. So that's a nonprofit. A lot of companies are nonprofit to educate people about global warming, so they understand that and to improve on the ecological practices. Some strategies, find a competitive board of directors, focus on long-term marketing, but you still have to market. How do I get people into my organization's nonprofit to give to me on marketing? You look at some of those the flyers you get that you have poor children children starving. I had nothing against poor children starving, but they're working at emotion and they're marketing so you could give to their organization or their campaign. Okay, product development. So I'm looking, you first got to test your product, and that's what you're doing. You're testing the marketing. Instead of doing a massive marketing campaign, you do small tests of small segments that you could control, and you see, hey, is this message going across the way I feel it should be going, or how's the consumer, the encoding? How does he or she encoding my marketing message? So I test market it and brand name. If you look at everything you're doing for your services and everything else, you're developing a brand. You as an individual, you have a brand. People know you're easygoing, you're very creative, you're problem solving. That's a brand you've developed over time. And marketing helps people develop a brand. When I look at the difference between the iTablet and the Samsung, when I look at the parts components, they're equal, but the brand, iPhone has that brand, has that following, has that loyalty, where Samsung is just building up the brand. But it's taking a lot of iPhone users and bringing it into Samsung. That's scaring Apple. So what Apple has to do is, how do I recapture the brand back? Okay, so they develop something else with new products, and that's what they're doing. Placing and pricing. Pricing has a big cost in the business-to-business world. Pricing is not the first thing. I'm looking more at quality and delivery time. But from a consumer, I value pricing. The higher price I expect, I get more service, I get more value for my money. So I have to basically put that into a marketing campaign. Sure, you're paying more than my competitors, but here's what you're getting. So remember, people don't mind paying more for a price as long as their mind, they're thinking that they're getting the value. So you have to look at the whole package, and that's what's going. And then when you look into pricing that you're going to be doing in some of my feasibility studies or my business plan, depending on what course you're taking me, pricing has a big indicator, because if I price my products too low, I'm no longer looking at quality. I'm looking at the low end. If I price it too high, people may say, hey, he's real expensive. But remember, when I have pricing, what you're going to find out in the pricing chapters is that once pricing is, I want to keep it a high quality, I could discount it, I could buy one, get one free, I could have an introductory price, I could do everything else. It's easier to give more discounts than to raise the price. So once you set the price and people are used to the price, you start raising, you go, oh man, they're too expensive. But if I come in at a high price and I lower it by discounts or coupons to a promotional meal, I figure I get a better deal and I can still maintain my price edge over everyone else. Okay, so you have pricing and promotions, another advertising, personal selling, public relations, sales promotion, viral marketing. All these are part of the marketing plan that has to tie into the campaign. So it keeps on stimulating, keeps on repeating, but in different ways, and keeps on motivates me to actually go try the product or actually buy the product. So that's what marketing is a way of teaching my consumer about my product without them realize that they're being taught, being lectured to, or that we're actually conditioning them to automatically respond to certain stimuli that you see. When you see the Arches, the first thing you think about Big Mac. When you see the Burger King, right, you think about the King or whatever, so your broiled hamburgers. And those are all things that stimulate triggers, okay? Now, marketing research. When you're doing your research paper for me, the first thing you have to do, market research, you have to analyze the market. That's what you're doing. You're doing it through secondary data. You're doing it through the Chamber of Commerce. You're doing it through the SBA organization. All these have information on the government census. All secondary data is the market. I'm selling Mercedes-Benz. I want to make sure I'm in a market where people have the money, the disposable capital to buy my Mercedes-Benz. I'm not going to go in a poor area or the economically struggling area. They can't afford it. They don't have the disposable income. So this tells me that. And then it identifies the products and consumers that use in the past. I could get that from other things. I could get it from data mining organization. But those are all individuals. Those are all secondary data before I actually go into my market. So I have a good idea about, okay, here's what I want to open up. Then I start going into the primary data and find out specifically what that market. But instead of looking at the whole United States where I'm going to open up, or in Illinois or which town, I get all this information from the secondary market through market research. Okay, and define the problem. What am I doing? Am I looking for new customers? Am I looking for new product? Am I looking for customers who are looking for improved product? I collect the data, I analyze it, and I choose the best solution. Okay, the biggest thing is defining the problem. What is the present situation? What are customers upset with the competitors? And that's what we're going to be doing with a SWOT analysis. What we do a SWOT analysis is to find out what are customers looking for. or what are they upset with? Okay, what information is needed? Now I'm going to collect the data. Remember, secondary data, real easy. Primary data is more expensive. I do all the secondary data, so I'm spending my money because it costs me more because it's only data that I'm utilizing to make sure it makes sense for my product or my services. That's where I'll be going into that. In-depth personal interviews is the biggest one. Focus groups are one of the larger primary data. Now I have this data. It satisfies me. What do I do with this data? I could keep it for myself, or I could release parts of the data as a secondary data and make some money for somebody else that's going to look at this information. It doesn't specifically address my issue, but it gives me the overall large level. Yes, these customers do like this, and here's how these customers buy and sell. And then the primary is actually focusing in to make sure they're actually buying and selling specifically to my market addresses their concern, not what I think, but their concerns, my target market, my demographic. Okay, then I analyze the data, and I finally make my marketing campaign, or how do I address it? Key benefits of marketing research is analyze the customer's current market, effectiveness of the current systems that are out there, and process and tactics currently used. Doesn't mean I can't use these, but I want to add to it or enhance it or do something different. You know, if they're just using word of mouth or viral marketing, maybe I want to use Twitter or LinkedIn or some of the other social media that's out there, or info commercial. Analyze the reasons for achievements, and then I go on. Ways to find customers, how customers think, is host a customer focus group, listen to competitors' customer story survey. Your sales force, you should have in any business, small or large, when a customer complains or something else, I wish you had this, they should put that information in so you have a big data bank. Who knows the customers better than the ones that are dealing with them face to face? I may have an idea, but they're telling me here's what they're asking for. They don't like red, they want pink. They don't like pink, they want yellow. They don't like the big, they want the smaller size, they want the larger size, they want a better price. All that should be put into a database. And even now you could, now you're compiling this information. You already have them talking to your sales force, but that has to be a training issue involved in that, okay? And then environmental scanning, you're looking at the 4 P's of marketing, you're looking at consumer, global factor, what's going on in the economy, technology, how much has changed, could I use this technology to better and then improve my profitability and my exposure, social, cultural, the family, the typical family is not there, you have single parents, you have stay-at-home dads, you have interracial marriages, all that's just changing. So my marketing campaign has to change to what's happening to the social factors. What's my competition doing? Do they have the price, the selection? Do I mirror it, or do I just select parts of it? And I can find that out through either my competitor's website. Nothing wrong. I'm not stealing information. I'm just getting information that's already out there in the net, or in an economic factor is the gross the domestic income is what I'm looking at. Okay, so we have that. ABCs of marketing. Always be customer focused. Benchmark against the best, and sometimes you are the best. If they're benchmarking against you, hey, I'm the best. Don't get a big head. How do I keep that competitive edge? Remember, the big companies are here and they fall down. Walmart used to be big. Now Target is kind of coming in there. Now Walmart has to find different areas. They're going into the grocery food exactly only in the grocery food, not the super Walmart or anything else. Just have like a Jewel or what do you call it, whole food kind of approach. Empower your employees, focus on relation building, and we pick that up in here. And goal achievement is reward. Okay, what are my rewards on that? Okay, define a different market, business to business, and use. When I look at business to business, we still use this 4 P's. Price isn't the first thing. I'm looking more at the quality of the service. I'm looking more at specifications, because the products I'm buying from business to business is a component of mine. If it'll look at the computers, if the computers they buy from all over, but if all of a sudden Apple's having a problem, I can't say, well, I bought this from Sam's, I bought this from what do you call it, Samsung, for lack of better words, or some because they also make like the hard drives or something else. Hey, what's the difference? I'm looking at the whole computer. I'm looking at your brand. What's wrong with it? It's your problem. If your components are faulty, you put them in there. You should have had a better quality control, okay? And business to business, like if I'm looking at toilet paper is the end use, for lack of better words, it's a punt. So toilet paper, if I'm using toilet paper for my own use as a business, I pay the taxes on there because that's the use. It's not a business product. If I'm using toilet paper because I'm picking up a basket for people going to college or a backpack for the guys that are going to college. I'm using that. I shouldn't be paying taxes on that because the end use is it's a component of a larger product that I'm selling. Okay, so remember, end use is the key factor of what it makes the business product or a business or a consumer product. Marketing consumers, I market to the segment, divide the market into certain groups. Even within a certain group, baby boomers, I have subgroups. Some have more technology, some have very little technology. So I have to understand the major overall of my market segment and the subgroups within it. Targeted marketing, selecting an organization can serve a probability. I can market by geographic. I can market by demographic, by income, age, education, other markets. I can market by psychographics is divided by the values and interests of a group, benefits of the segment, and the volume. I divide it by who's selling the most, and those are the ones I target. I have a lot of one-time buyers, or I have the larger buyers. If I have a larger buyers, they're more repeat customers. Okay, so I close that off. The next one is marketing to smaller, niche marketing, one-on-one marketing, develop it for individual. And technology allows me to, when I order a computer, I could get a basic computer model, but if I want a bigger hard drive, or I want a larger screen, or I want some software, I can just add it in, because when it goes through the assembly line, the computer knows, hey, this one here, you put the big one, it puts it in there. This one here, he doesn't want any software, he just wants a basic model, and all that works on there. Okay. Now the last few ones you have to look at is the buying decision. You have to look at where, and all these makes is information where I have my marketing campaign or triggers for when the customers are looking. When they're finding a problem, I have a problem. What do? I go to the internet. So how do my products come in first? You know what I mean? Because they're searching through a large database. And sometimes that is, you have consultants that will adjust it. So when I type in George's hot dog stand, Mike comes in up first. Okay, so because I'm hungry. So first I have to understand the problem, recognizing the problem from the consumer thing. How does the consumer search this product? More of the baby boomers may not use the internet as much as the Generation Y, Generation X. So I have to make sure I have my marketing campaign. I can't just say everything in the paper or in the billboards or here send it for a handout, because all this information is done through the computer. Evaluating the alternative. I got to look at different alternatives. How does the consumer think alternative? And in those places, I got different marketing little bits of campaigns or triggers. Hey, you got this problem? Come up in here. So it all works in to the big integrated marketing campaign. Purchasing decision. Where does the customer buy his or purchase his or her product? And I'll have campaigns. I'll have either coupons to get them into that area, or my store has displayed models and everything else. And key factors are learning, reference groups, understand the culture subgroups, and cognitive dissonance. And basically, after I buy something, a big ticket item, I feel, oh man, did I buy the right thing? So they have points in there. Or if you look at a mirror, just a big step, or somebody moves into it. So you're looking at the positive, moved in, oh, what did I do? And then all of a sudden you see, hey, she cooks for me, or he cooks for me, or cleans up, I have companionship. You know what I mean? So now I'm looking, hey, this was a good decision. So if I buy a brand new car, in the first 30 days I'm questioning whether this was the right decision. You'll see all kind of marketing campaigns coming in there. Hey, did you know the Focus was the #1, or the Subaru is for all terrain, whatever. They're reinforcing that. So the first 30 days when people are asking how do you like your new car, I have all this facts and information to take care of the cognitive dissonance, which basically is my mind. Did I make the right decisions? Okay. And then business to business, who are business to business? Consumer, manufacturer, wholesale, government, hospitals, schools, charity. It could be profit or non-profit. What's the difference? Have fewer customers. Customers tend to buy in large. Our large buyers. Our markets are geographically concentrated. Buyers are more rational than emotional, so I can't do on emotional. On just emotional buy just because you're going to make you feel good. I want to see facts. I want to see specifications. Sales are direct, and focuses heavily on personal selling, and that ties into the 4P, the 4 marketing, customer relationship. So this is the difference. Okay. It takes care of that, and then I have my PowerPoints, and that basically takes care of everything else that you're going to need for chapter 13. And if I look at chapter 13 is marketing, this is a series of understanding the basic of introduction to business. My name is Dr. George Mochocki. This is chapter 13. Make sure you utilize the PowerPoint, read the chapters, the concept maps after you've read everything else. It's just a quick summarization. These are 50 PowerPoints on one slide sheet. So again, my name is Dr. George Mochocki. We covered chapter 13 in marketing, introduction to business, and I'll see you for the next series. Bye.